Welcome to another episode of It's Debatable NBA Edition. I'm your host, Justin Jones. Here with co-host Sebastian Pluvios, co-host Jalen Green. Yes, we are back with NBA. I know it's been a little while since we talked about it. Damn near since the NBA Finals ended. Once again, shout out to the Denver Nuggets for being last year's NBA champions. It has been sort of a crazy offseason. Started off with all the signings and everything, free agency frenzy. Then, everything slows down with Summer League and things of that nature. But we all knew the two key pieces we were waiting to see where they would go, seeing that both of them requested trades. One being Damian Lillard, the former Portland Trailblazer, now a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. And James Harden, who is still on the Philadelphia 76ers, but we even seen the report today. He did not report to the media day, saying he is still awaiting his trade. So we're going to see how that domino falls. Before we get into everything, I have to ask y'all, how y'all doing?
Feeling good, man. Season 2, we back, boys.
Yeah, I'm Gucci.
I know it's been a while, Seb. You said that you're a little bit rusty, so are you good right now?
I'm
if
good,
you need to
trust
sit
me.
this one out, I understand. It's
I
nothing
ain't missing
personal.
out on nothing, bro.
You ready to talk basketball?
Let's talk. Let's go.
All right, so let's just dive right into it. Huge trade that went down like 2 days ago, a day ago, something like that. The Damian Lillard trade to Milwaukee. The Bucks got Damian Lillard. Portland got Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton. I cannot pronounce this young man's name, but Kamara and multiple picks. Y'all know Drew Holiday ended up being flipped. We'll talk about that in the next segment. The Suns get their new starting center, Yusuf Nurkic, defensive stopper, great Grayson Allen 3-and-D, right? And two young prospects in Nasir Little and Keon Johnson. We're gonna start off with the Portland side of thing. Damian Lillard being there damn near for his whole career. We all knew that Dame was probably going to be on the move, seeing that they drafted School Henderson. So we were just all waiting for a win. Everyone thinking that it was going to be Miami. Dame was making it real clear to the front office that was the only team he wanted to go to. I just heard until just recently behind the scenes, he did extend his list to Brooklyn and the Bucks. They end up making that deal. So they got back once again DeAndre Ayton, who was a part of Phoenix, and then Drew Holiday, who they ended up flipping for Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams. So I'm gonna start with Jalen. How do you feel about Portland now that they moved on from Dame?
I definitely like what they got in return. I definitely feel like they got what Dame is worth. I really feel like him being in that organization for, like 11 plus years. I definitely feel like he gave him a lot, gave a lot of effort and all that, but I definitely feel like it was time to move. But I definitely like the assets. It just makes more sense. All the other trades that were possible for Damian Lillard didn't really make sense because all three of their prospects are like guards, forwards, so you don't want to you want to give them an opportunity to play. So you don't want to trade for another shooting guard or a small forward. So I think DeAndre Ayton made sense. He's still young, number 1 draft pick, still has a lot of potential. So I definitely feel like it made sense.
Okay. Sam, how do you feel about Portland now that they officially made the Dame trade?
I give Portland an A+ for what they did. Just coming into this, seeing that Damian Lillard just wanted to go straight to Miami and how that trade didn't work well for them because the only thing that they really had to offer was Tyler Hero.
Right.
It didn't really work well with them having a guard in Anthony Simons and School Henderson. So for them to even make both sides work to where they get a good big in DeAndre Ayton, they managed to get Drew Holiday and still flip him into a package with Boston. It worked out perfectly well for them to a point where we could still see them competing as well as probably fighting for that playing spot,
right.
Something of that nature. But overall, they're still going to be a competitive team. It's not like they're in full rebuild mode to where they're tanking for draft picks and things of that nature. But overall, that is just a solid team in general. Because you still have Jeremy Grant as well too, so you got a solid starting lineup too. So just working on the bench now and just working on what you're trying to build over there with Chauncey Billups and those boys is good to see.
Right. I just said before we started filming, I definitely like what Porn ended up acquiring just from this whole Dame trade. You know, in the end they get, once again, like you just said, DeAndre Ayton, former first overall pick. I felt just him personally, he kind of quit on the Phoenix Suns, and not so much the franchise per se, but we all seen the back and forth that he was having with Monty Williams. If one of your star players is having a problem with the coach, either you're getting traded or the coach is getting fired, and we've seen both things happen. Mm-hmm. So Phoenix just moved on from that entire situation. I think that now that he has sort of like that demon, you know, from over his back, I feel that he's gonna be rejuvenated. I think we will see the best regular season from DeAndre Ayton. I just seen the clip from when he was walking around the facility. He seems happy. He seems vibrant. So I'm expecting at least 20 and 10 for him playing on this Portland Trailblazers team. Also, just being the second option on the team. I believe they're still gonna put the ball in Scoot Henderson's hand, and that just them in that pick and roll. You know, him just still being a good post player. I think he's definitely gonna get some touches down there. I'm expecting a great season. We spoke how they flipped Drew Holiday for Malcolm Brogdon.
Hey, quick question. Sorry to interrupt you. Mm-hmm. I seen that DeAndre Ayton's now in Portland. You think it's his breakout year or maybe an All-Star year?
I'm not sure of All-Star. There's a lot of politics that get into that seeding and things of that nature, especially in the Western Conference. With all the bigs and forwards over there, I think it will be very, very tough. He would have to be on some like 28 and 14 type of numbers, like 2 blocks. Is he gonna do all of that? That's just his mindset, because he's capable of doing that. I feel is his mind gonna be in it? We seen when they was playing the Denver Nuggets in that playoff series last season. Mm-hmm. I remember Seb was saying he looked like he quit just in that series, and it looked like there was a play where Nikola Jokic had like 7 rebounds in a row, and he's like standing on the out of bounds line, not even getting down there. Yeah. So I just think that's crazy. Yeah. But I was just gonna say real quick, them just getting Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams flipping Drew Holiday to Boston. I think they have a lot of great young pieces. Like you said, I think they definitely will fight for that play-in spot. Will they get it? I just think that's gonna be very, very tough. That really hinges on how good is Scoot Henderson. Like, that's really the replacement for Damian Lillard, your franchise guy. So we're just gonna have to see.
Yeah. To piggyback on your point, so I think DeAndre Ayton is gonna have a dominant year, because I think this is his team. Like, for real, on the Suns, they were competing for a championship, so he had to fit into a role and had to play a role within Monty Williams and be a backseat to Devin Booker's strengths. To this point, I really feel like he could play the way he wants to play, because, like with Chris Paul, like I really feel like he was set up to do certain things. Like I really feel like he's more of a back to the basket big. We have never seen like DeAndre post up as much. It's more so screen and roll, pick and pop. So I really feel like there's more variations of what he could do on offense. And I really feel like that'll show with a new coach, new point guard, young guys.
I kind of agree with you on that point. Definitely, I feel like it's his team for somebody that's been in the finals, has success in the playoffs, so kind of knows what the regular season is like and how to will them through the playoffs. I wouldn't definitely say, if not him, then who? I wouldn't say Anthony Simons, because he hasn't shown no like capability of like carrying the franchise yet. So I would have to go with DeAndre Ayton just off that strength.
Yeah. Right, but I don't want to say, so you're not thinking they gave the keys to Scoot Henderson?
Not yet.
What do you mean, not yet?
Like I know Scoot Henderson's number 3 pick.
This is Damian Lillard's replacement. You got to give the ball to him and say, take us there. You're the top 3 overall pick.
I know.
Damn near. He said he should be the number 1 overall pick. DeAndre Ayton's coming off a very suspect playoff run. Exactly. I think he'll be the second option, but to say this is his team?
Yeah, but
to say Scoot Henderson is going to be the like.
He's the guy. That's the guy. So that's
just forgetting about Anthony Simons.
We're not forgetting about Anthony
Simons just came off a breakout season. So I'd put Anthony Simons before I put Scoot Henderson. Scoot Henderson still got to prove he can play.
In terms of touches?
Yes. Anthony Simons is getting way more touches than Scoot Henderson.
We're not doing that.
He's been there. He knows the system.
That nigga shoot 40% from 3, bro.
Under Chauncey Billups.
If that was the case, then remember Damian Lillard The report came out that Damian Lillard, once the Heat thing, did not work out, he said he was going to rescind the trade and return back to Portland. If as the owner, the GM, they have to say, okay, we can bring back Dame, have a mentor, Scoot Henderson, all that. No, we're going to move you. We want Scoot Henderson to be the guy.
Yeah, but you also
yes, but you don't throw him the keys automatically when you have somebody that just came off.
Is made of.
Okay, I understand that.
We know what DeAndre.
But you're not gonna throw. Yeah, but DeAndre Ayton is solidified.
Yeah,
Anthony Simons is solidified after having a breakout season like that. Yeah. Jeremy Grant, we didn't talk about Jeremy Grant either. We're not talking about Jeremy Grant either.
Hold on. This is the we all Seth. Hold on. I know that you're a big. Hold on. I know that you're a big man, so you're gonna be a little biased towards that. We know this is a guard-driven league. The ball is going to be in Scoot Henderson's hand. I feel like 70% of the time, bro, you have to give him the keys. We have to see how good he is, what he can do in this first season. And this is his team, bro. DeAndre Ayton is his running mate. I think it'd be a 1A, 1B. But to say this is DeAndre Ayton's team, I just don't think so, though.
Because it's like, I don't. But even to the same point, like, this is a first overall pick that has not made an All-Star yet. And he barely hit his prime. And to the same point, we seen Mikal Bridges on the Suns team go to the Brooklyn Nets and flourish. I think DeAndre Ayton has even more potential than possibly Mikal Bridges. So it's like, I could see it happening.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to go with who's been here. Scoot Henderson still probably trying to figure himself out in this league. At most, I give him to average 14 points.
Be that dude, though.
Not necessarily. Just because he's a top 3 pick doesn't mean he's supposed to be that dude. You got to give these draft picks time, though. That's what I'm saying.
No, I understand that. I'm not saying he's going to come out and average 37 points.
But to say he gets the key to the franchise. But to give him the keys to the franchise.
He's their young.
You can't give it to him yet if you don't know what he's capable of yet. You know what Anthony Simons is capable. You know what Jeremy Grant is capable of. You know what DeAndre Ayton is possibly going to bring to you. Those are guys that have been here already. Yeah. So to just skip them and say Scoot Henderson here,
it's not like
you're gonna have to mold them.
They're going to be focal points in the rotation and in the offense. Shout out to Anthony Simons. I think he's gonna have a great season. Shout out to DeAndre Ayton. I think he's gonna have a great season. But I just think in the long run, this franchise now, this team is going to go as far as Scoot Henderson takes them. The hype behind him, even before the draft, was that for a reason. They were talking about him and Victor Wembanyama, who we all know they were going to pick Victor as number one regardless.
100%.
But there was some people just trying to start a narrative who should really be that number one.
Yeah.
We thought damn near he could have won number 2, but just
I thought he was going to go to Charlotte.
LaMelo Ball was there. They didn't want to do that and stunt LaMelo Ball. So he fell right into Portland's lap. But Scoot Henderson was labeled to be that guy coming into the league right now.
Yeah. 100%.
Not just from regular prospect, though.
But he still has to earn it on G.
No. I understand. If he makes mistakes now, of course, Chauncey Billups being a point guard himself is gonna tell him, you got to ease up here. We might take back some of your minutes. You might gotta do this. But even so, I feel once again that point, just Chauncey being a point guard, knowing him coming into the league and what he had to do, he's gonna give that ball to Scoot. It's a guard-driven league. He's gonna get a lot of touches, and I just think at best, if I gotta agree with you, I'll say 1A, 1B. But just to say it's his team, DeAndre Ayton's team, can we see where your head is at? The last time we seen you didn't want to box out.
He just gave up.
Like, all right,
you gave up.
You're saying you're our guy, and last time we seen you gave up.
But he doesn't have that freedom.
Boy, yeah, he
has freedom.
You could tell, like, you seen it when he first got into the Portland. Like, he felt like he said, "I got redrafted again."
We're talking about he was missing heart, though. You can't teach that, though, bro.
Yeah,
you can't
see
someone took his heart, bro.
It's in a situation. Like when I'm forced to play one way, when I know I'm more than capable of doing anything else, and all you want me to do is just pick and roll all day. When I know I'm a first overall.
So then you're gonna let Jokic punk you?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna play like I'm not engaged, bro.
As a former big, you can't get punked like that.
That looks crazy, that clip, bro.
You can't get punked like that. That's for sure.
Hey, if you don't get the ball on offense,
but sometimes it takes a different situation to bring out.
I said,
and I feel the same way. That's what happened with Mikal Bridges. That's what happened with Cam Johnson. They was meant to play a certain way. Mikal Bridges was meant to be a 3-and-D. We didn't expect him to have like a bag like he did, going for 40 and stuff like that. That was unexpected on high efficiency.
Yeah.
I think DeAndre Ayton is capable of doing, not every night, but capable of hitting those numbers throughout the season, being a 20 and 10 guy, potential all-star. He has all those capabilities. He has the mid-range game. He can hit free throws. We've seen him in the post. We've seen him pick and roll. An okay defender. He has all the intangibles to be arguably one of the best big men in the league. Yeah. But we have to see that. And once people start questioning your heart, I think that's a whole other situation that we have to monitor. We can't just automatically say this is his team now.
That's true.
That's just me though. But I understand what both y'all are saying. Y'all make great points. But now we have to move on to the other side of this. The Phoenix Suns. They lost DeAndre Ayton, gained Yusuf Nurkic. Once again, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. Let me just start real quick. I don't really like what Phoenix did. I know a lot of people are high on them right now. I seen on FanDuel they have like the second highest odds out of the Western Conference to come out and make the finals. But I still think defense is going to be a major problem for them inside these playoffs. We seen that was a problem in that Denver series last season. They was not able to stop anybody. They can score out the gym because if Kevin Durant and Devin Booker gets going, they can go for damn near 40 apiece. That's 80 right there, right? And them having Bradley Beal right now, he at least can give you 20. So they can easily get 100 a night. But now if you're giving the other team 120 though, something's not adding up. And are you putting all this defense on Grayson Allen now? We've seen him have some suspect moments in the playoffs last year. So some of these pieces, besides their big three that they have acquired, I have to see it. I'm not big on Yusuf Nurkic. You downgraded your center position to me then. Coming from DeAndre Ayton, when was the last time Yusuf Nurkic was even healthy?
True.
Every time I see him, he got a broken leg.
But he is like every time he is healthy, he's like one of the top rebounders in the league. And that's a fact.
I just don't think that's gonna be enough to contend when you guys trying to go through Nikola Jokic. He's going to cook him.
You got to see it.
But then
I've seen it before. Like he cooked him in the past.
Just got to see it.
Again?
You got to see.
All right, you just need to watch this movie again.
I feel like with the Suns, because they just probably have a lot of bigs. They're stacking up on bigs. They don't have not one solid big that they're gonna go to. Yeah. They picked up Drew Eubanks too, Bol too as well.
If you were a GM, you wouldn't even want Drew Eubanks. Who is that?
But what else are you getting as a backup big?
You signed for like $2 million.
Dwight Howard, DeMarcus Cousins. Who's Drew Eubanks?
I'm tired of people saying these vets. Dwight Howard and DeMarcus.
No, we're not.
They're not in the league for a reason, bro.
They're
not in the league for a reason, bro.
Hold on, we're not doing that. We know that DeMarcus Cousins should be in this NBA right now. I understand. He can
score with the best of them, but we're talking about
Dwight Howard. The last time we seen him in a meaningful situation, he was guarding Nikola Jokic and helped the Lakers get to an NBA championship.
Yeah, that's like 3 years ago.
That's like 3 years ago.
3 years.
They're past their primes. I understand. Yeah. They could play in the league.
Cousin past his prime?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, so I'm disappointed.
No, listen. I'm calling it what it is. He can still hoop in this league.
Cousins can play in this NBA right now.
He can still
I see some of the people on some of these rosters right now.
He can still hoop. Don't get me wrong.
Drew Eubanks is solid.
I just seen Wendell Gabriel sign a 1-year deal. No disrespect
for what they're doing.
Wendell Gabriel. He's former Laker. But are you fucking kidding me right now?
From what I seen in Wendell Gabriel in the playoffs, I'd rather have them DeMarcus Cousins because he can switch out. You gotta remember, they're not quick on him. Is DeMarcus Cousins gonna be quick on his feet?
Bro, no.
If there's a switch offense, is DeMarcus Cousins guarding a perimeter player?
I'm not saying.
Is he guarding a perimeter? Dwight Howard is good. Dwight Howard is good in help defense though.
Weakest link on the court.
That's what I'm saying, but it's a switch league now. That's what I'm saying. It's more guard-oriented, though.
Seb, let me ask you a question. If you were the GM of the Phoenix Suns, you have the chance to get Drew Eubanks or Dwight Howard. You're signing Drew Eubanks. Fucking lie to me right now. Say that you will, because you're going to lie to me right now.
I'll give you that. I'll take my chance on Dwight Howard, I'm not a GM, though.
Wait, hold on, JM. Who you taking? Drew Eubanks or Dwight Howard?
I'll take Dwight.
So what are we doing right now, though?
But that's us, though. We don't see what the GM see, though.
He being blackballed. You want to get real?
How's he being blackballed? What has he done?
He should be in the NBA right now.
Why is he in the NBA, though? Because he's blackballed. Blackballed for what?
They don't kind of like...
I can understand DeMarcus Cousins. I can understand DeMarcus Cousins being blackballed. Because they say his attitude and whatnot, but I feel like Boogie's definitely blackballed.
Some of these players, what happens off the court, what they're doing outside of the game, the NBA doesn't just kind of really rock with that. So that's sort of why some of these players get blackballed. Same thing you're saying with DeMarcus Cousins. He's not in the league because of his attitude?
I don't think.
I feel like it's more than that though. Teams are not willing to give him a chance, but you gotta remember too, just defensively too.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Cousins can score 30 with the best of them on any given night. I seen it when he was the backup for Denver and Nikola Jokic went out for one game. He literally dropped 30 as the starting big. Still has it and able to do that. But consistently, what you're gonna ask for from DeMarcus Cousins, it would have to be in a limited time, like a 10-minute.
Same thing
that's
from
what I'm
Drew
saying,
Eubanks.
too. But that's the same thing too.
But
Like what you're expecting from DeMarcus Cousins, you would have to pay DeMarcus Cousins. Like if you want DeMarcus Cousins,
DeMarcus Cousins has been humbled enough.
But listen. It's good if Drew Eubanks gets 12 and 7. If DeMarcus Cousins gets 12 and 7, it's unacceptable.
Because are you trying to say that if he, so let's say, are you saying that if they were to sign him and he hypothetically had an amazing season, now you're going to have to pay him big money, you're saying?
Yes, because if DeMarcus Cousins is consistently scoring 20 and 10 on your bench, you think he's not going to
But that's not, is the goal to win a championship though? So if he's doing that though, does not get you closer to the ring though, if you have to spend a little money?
But why would I spend more? Why would I spend more money when I could?
You're spending more money because you want to win a championship.
Okay, but when I could buy this guy, he can fit exactly what I need. I just need somebody to rebound. That's all I need.
With DeMarcus Cousins, he got to get his touches too. It's not like he's just gonna be turn him into a pick and roll guy.
Exactly.
Drew Eubanks, you could utilize him to be like a pick and roll guy.
You can get whatever you need out of Drew Eubanks.
You can make him a bot.
Exactly.
DeMarcus Cousins can't be a bot. DeMarcus Cousins got to get his touches. He got to get his ISO. He got to get his, because at the end of the day, he's too good of a scorer for him not to like get his touches as well too. He's not gonna fit what Phoenix is doing. You're gonna have another like isolation scorer, somebody that could get his.
Yeah,
I can't wait until the season starts and we get into the playoffs, because I can't wait until you see Drew Eubanks out there doing God knows what. You're going to be like, yo, what is he doing right now? I swear to God, that's going to happen, bro. He might look decent in the regular season when they put him in when they're up 20, and then he has 8 quick points. Bro, when the playoffs come, that's a different animal. You need a type of dog. And I feel Dwight Howard has that experience and DeMarcus Cousins has that type of game.
So let me ask you this. How come it didn't work out with the Golden State? Golden State desperately
the workout thing? I don't know. Yeah. I wouldn't know that.
It's clearly something that GMs are seeing that we're not seeing. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's just
because at the end of the day,
I don't know. Like,
everybody knows he's a rim protector. Especially everybody knows that the Warriors need a big bad. And the fact that they did like a 2-day initiation where they tried to bring Dwight Howard in and to see what he's capable of and see what he can, and he still didn't get signed and they move past it.
That's crazy.
It's something that GM see that we don't. So when everybody say, "Oh, they deserve to be in the league," we get that part too. We know they can still play. It's still NBA. Like the NBA game does not go away, especially if you're still playing it overseas. Your basketball knowledge don't go away. But it's just what's the game about now? Like just adapting to it. Just. Just everything about it. And when we see Dwight Howard, are we gonna think of him like if he gets switched on to like on top of the key? Is he guarding like that? Is he going to be able to hold his own?
There's multiple bigs in the league right now that they can switch that onto the perimeter.
And I guarantee, and I agree with you 100%. I'm not singling out, but multiple. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. But I'm just saying the fact that everybody just keeps saying that, oh, he deserves to be in the league. It's not. Nobody deserves to be in the league. You have to earn the spot.
I'm not saying just because of him. I'm saying because what I see on other rosters. I know they're not as good as him. That's what the point I'm
No, 100% true.
Not just personally saying Dwight Howard's the top 5 center in the league because he's way past his prime. But I'm saying what he can give. If you put him in that series last season on Golden State versus the Lakers, it looks a little different. Not saying Golden State wins, because I still think the Lakers would have ended up winning that series. But Anthony Davis and everyone's not having a field day.
Yeah, it is. He's still.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But
Dwight and Boogie, I definitely would like to see them back in the league, though. I'm not saying I don't want to see. I'm not hating or none of that shit. But I'm just saying, just how I see it. Just everybody saying it deserves. But if they could get back in the league, then it would be something good to see. IT too.
All right, so IT's going to everyone's.
No comment.
IT's
no comment.
Shout out to Isaiah Thomas, but he's going to everyone. He's in everyone's DM right now. Every GM's DM. He's doing house visits. He's doing a lot right now. He wants to play on Portland. He's saying that he could be a vet. He's talking about Milwaukee. Do you need a backup? I just don't know. I like
that brother starving,
but I'm just saying, brother,
that brother starving.
Brother, you look like a thought right now, bro. Like you out here begging, you pleading. I'm sorry, brother. But Jalen, how do you feel about the Phoenix Suns, though?
Yeah, I like what they got. I just really feel like they just needed options. Of what prior to this trade, I really feel like they just had a 6-man rotation, and Eric Gordon was the only person on the bench. I think they still do. They have they signed a lot of people. I really feel like they're solid and have opportunity, but I really feel like, you get, Grayson Allen he was on a contending team, like Nurkic, who could do a good job at what he does, you feel me? I just feel like they got a lot of options now.
So,
same thing with Jalen said. I just feel like they're just throwing pieces out there. It's not like they're getting like the most solid pieces. They're just acquiring as much role players as they can. Because reality speaking, KD, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker are gonna have the ball majority of the time.
Yeah.
They gotta figure out how to split that share.
Yeah.
So whoever gets their rest, they're just pieces.
Not to cut you off, we all know that sitting in this room in the playoffs, role players matter.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just gonna be Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. They're going to need people to come off the bench for about 5 to 10 minutes when they're gonna need a spark.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of these names. I don't trust Keon Johnson. I like Keon Johnson too as a young prospect, but no. Nasir Little, I don't trust him in the playoffs. Grayson Allen, I have an ounce of trust for him. The last time I seen him, he was bugging out. And Yusuf Nurkic, I don't know if he's gonna make it to June. I'm not sure because his body doesn't hold up. He looks out of shape to me all the time. I'm not a Nurkic fan. I don't really understand his name.
But we're talking about those guys from the trade too. We didn't mention the other guys in the offseason too, the Watanabes.
You're still saying people that I'm not.
But look how much different pieces they can put. It's going to be an adjustment period.
Yeah, and you're not asking much from these guys. You just ask them to do probably 1 or 2 things on the court: defend here and then shoot right. Like they're not being asked to do much. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I gotta see. Can I trust him when the play? Because I feel when I'm talking, I'm strictly talking playoffs. They will be fine in the regular season. This team is good enough to make it through regular season, be a top 6 seed. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when it's going to matter.
Yeah.
Or who you about to put in that you trust. I guess we're gonna have to see how the season plays out.
Yeah.
I'm just right now very skeptical. That's just how I feel. But let's just move on to the Bucks part of it. They get Damian Lillard. So how do you feel about Dame now teaming up with Giannis Antetokounmpo?
That's a big win for Dame Lillard. I know he wanted to go to Miami, but this is way better than going into Miami. You got the best player in the league in Giannis. You got a supporting cast in Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez. You lost a little bit depth within Grayson Allen. Who else am I missing? Nobody else really.
No, for the most part, they still have.
Yeah, they still have everybody. You get a backup guard in Cameron Payne now. This team is set right now for a conference final run or finals run. It just depends on how well that they play together. But to me, their game complements each other perfectly well. You have somebody that, really spaces the floor. Like, you're going to have to guard Dame Lillard as soon as he touches half court. And then with that spacing on the court, Giannis is free at the rim. Literally free at the rim. It could be like a 30 and like 28. Like, it really could complement each other that well. So we got to see how well they make it work. Other than that, this is Dame's real chance. We've been saying it for a while. Like, you got to get out of Portland. You got to do what's best for your career. I remember last year we was talking about the who's gonna leave first. Bradley Beal, Dame Lillard. They both end up leaving. So now it's really Dame time is on. Like, we got to see what you're really about. Like, the lights are gonna shine the brightest now because now you're expected. In Portland, you wasn't expected to do nothing. If you could make the playoffs, if you could make it to the conference finals, that was cool. Now there's expectations involved. Now it's like, now you're gonna be talked about. Your game's gonna be critiqued. You got to show up. And I believe Damian Lillard could do it because now it's like he has a chip on his shoulder to really at least touch the finals, at least, solidify his career on why he's a top 75 player. People keep forgetting that he's in that. But for him to be able to be in a position now to where it's go time, then, I think we see a different Damian Lillard.
Right, Jalen?
Yeah, for me, I gotta really see how he adjusts his game because to me, I really feel like this is the most talent he ever played with. And when you're not counted upon to score 30 every night, it's different when you have to now, Chris Middleton could get 20, Brook Lopez could get 20, Bobby Portis could have a good night, go for 20. Giannis could get 30. So it's like, what more can you do besides scoring this team and be effective? Even like star players, yes, we know, the superstars, they can score all the points, but they do affect the game in other ways. And for me, I need to see Dame affect the game in other ways. And I know it may be like a long time, but I seen Dame in the Olympics and he struggled. Like, he really mightily struggled when he had all those talent around him. I seen Jason Tatum and I seen Kevin Durant. They had their own. Like, no matter what they kind of set in their game. When I seen Damian Lillard on that Olympics team, I seen him struggle to find his fit in where he fit. So it's like when he's around certain talent, like when he's around talent now, like you're not like the best player, and all props to Marcus Aldridge. That was probably the best player he's played with. He never really played with a perennial all-star. So now you have to adjust your game, and like it's okay if you don't have 25. Like I want to see how can Dame affect the game besides scoring. And that's what I'm going to keep an eye on.
Right, I definitely think you make a great point. We've seen Damian Lillard, his whole tenure in Portland, very ball dominant for the most part, had the ball a lot, especially these last couple years. Seeing that CJ McCollum left, it was really solely his team, and he can sort of do whatever he wants. Even I want to make the quick point that I believe he was asked on the Cameron and Mace, are you the best point guard in the NBA? And he made the point that the difference between him and Curry is that he has the ball a lot more.
Yeah. And
that if Curry had some more of those responsibilities, we would see what kind of point guard he really is. I think the point that he was missing, though, was that Stephen Curry is so effective because what he does off the ball, his movement off the ball, him setting back screens, just all those things, I think also makes him effective. So now to the point, let's say it could be Chris Middleton's night. It could be, Giannis Antetokounmpo's night. It could be Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis' night. If it's not his night, like Jalen just said, how else is he going to affect the game? We don't know Dame for really back cutting like that and doing down screens and being a defender. He's usually a high volume scorer, shooting a lot of 3-pointers. And if those threes aren't falling, how else are you going to be able to affect the game? Now, to your point, I think he's that caliber of player that he'll figure it out. I'll be very surprised if somehow Giannis and him don't end up winning a championship with them together. I just think that would be crazy because I think just them as individuals, they're both that gifted. But I think it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get it together. I think they will finish, though, as a top 3 seed. I think they are that good. But I think at the end of the day, this is huge for Milwaukee because we've seen in last year's playoffs, Giannis did look, when he did play, he got hurt in the first round. When he did play, he did look a little shaky to me in closing moments. I remember that game where I think Game 4, Game 5, something like that. It went to overtime. He's fumbling the ball, throwing the ball out of bounds. We had a big debate about that, about how he was playing in those final minutes in that series. Dame now, the responsibility's off your shoulders. He's the closer. We've seen Dame in multiple times, multiple occasions, close games and franchises. So just him having that weapon, I think this team is going to be scary because when they're on, they're going to be on. You got Chris Middleton on the perimeter with you, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, everyone but Giannis could really space the floor. So, I just think it will benefit in the long run. I want to see how their new coach gets them to coexist together. I think that's the element that we're forgetting. It's not the same Mike Budenholzer type of offense. It's going to be a little different. How are they going to be receptive to him? He's a young coach. We're going to have to see. But overall, I think it will end up working out. So overall, I think for all sides, I guess for the most part, they got what they wanted. The Dame saga is over. But we spoke about Drew Holiday, right? He was flipped to Boston. How are we looking at Boston now?
We're looking at Boston as just a team that has to get back to the finals. You lose a guy like Marcus Smart, and everybody was just devastated over the heart and soul of Boston. As he went as good as the team went, to have somebody like him go and to bring in just as good of a player, somebody that could be considered a defense player of the year candidate just as well as any given year, and Drew Holiday, you really have a great replacement in that nature, and you didn't really give up too much. I mean, the only thing that hurts is that you gave up Robert Williams, so you lost a bit of your defense in the paint. So that was going to hurt them. We got to see how well they bounce back from that. But overall, you have a great teammate in Drew Holiday, somebody that hustles, give you the same tenacity on defense. Maybe a little bit better on ball. His colleagues in the NBA keep saying that he's the best on ball defender in the league. So that definitely gives them a plus. A great leader, a great vet. So you're getting all that with Drew Holiday for just the price of Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams. I feel like the Boston Celtics definitely did their thing, getting him when the moment came as soon as possible. They didn't even hesitate. They didn't think about nothing. They just went straight forward. So I like what Brad Stevens did there.
Jalen?
I think the Drew Holiday's addition is solid. I just really feel like they just got better at the point guard position. They just replaced Marcus Smart with a better Marcus Smart. Like what Marcus Smart does, he just does. Drew Holiday just does it better. Now I'm just interested on seeing how it fits because to me it's like it's kind of like the same point guard in my eyes. But it's like when I was watching the playoffs, it's times where if Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's not, who's that third scorer that's going to just get them that bucket? And it's like, my thing was like Marcus Smart cannot be that starting point guard. So it's like having kind of the same type of point guard, and I'm trying to see like how Drew Holiday is going to, operate in the system. I just got to see it to be honest. I don't want to go on the fly and say anything first, but I just really got to see it because I just really feel like they're just replacing the same thing and they're not really getting better at something new. It's just the same thing but better.
Right. Shout out to the Boston Celtics. I think they had a very interesting offseason. I like how they retooled from losing in the Eastern Conference Finals. I definitely think their team got better. Them obtaining Kristaps Porzingis, them gaining Drew Holiday. Now, yeah, they lost Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, and Marcus Smart, all important pieces to the team. But I think Drew Holiday, to your point, I think he is a better Marcus Smart. I think they're both great defensively, but I think just offensively, Drew Holiday is just a better three-point shooter. He's just more physical. I've seen him play in the post more and create there. Just a better mid-range game. And I think it just get to the basketball. He's taking that third score. Now, is he gonna be able to do that every night? Just be their defensive third option? I'm not sure on that, but I think on nights when they're gonna need him to be big, I think Drew Holiday can definitely do that. He's a champion, been in big moments before. We seen what he did in Milwaukee. We seen what he did in New Orleans. We seen what he did in Philly. He's been consistent his whole career. Damn near the most underrated point guard of all time. I don't think it's the credit that he deserves. I think it's just a great pickup for them. I think when the playoffs come, this team's gonna be a very hard team to beat 4 times. I think the finals is going to be Milwaukee and Boston. I just don't see another team unless now a trade could happen. People could get hurt, things of that nature. So we don't know. But as of right now, today's date, I like Milwaukee. I like Boston. Just from top to bottom. Mm-hmm. I just think those are just the 2 teams that are going to happen. That are going to have to be reckoned with. Mm-hmm. So once again, shout out for them for pulling off the trade. Drew Holiday, a new home. I think he's gonna just do wonders for them. But we're gonna have to cut this episode short. Mm-hmm. Seeing that the battle rap cut into this episode, so we're just gonna thank everybody for watching. Next week, we'll get into the James Harden saga. And just more things that happen this offseason as we gear up for the NBA season approaching at the end of this month. We will be back every single week to give y'all basketball content. Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at It's Debatable _, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, and that's it.
All right.